In this video, we are going to talk about top 10 most beautiful castles. Before we start the video, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell to be notified whenever we upload new videos. Evoking legends, lore, and full-blown fantasy, castles possess a certain magic that draws in modern travelers. The soaring structures and bountiful gardens of royal dwellings allow us to revisit those worlds of our childhood bedtime stories. Around the world, palaces and castles play a compelling role in telling the rich history of a region. Their fabled halls and sky-high towers reveal the triumphs of their rulers. In addition, they provide in-depth architectural lessons thanks to their ornate and timeless designs. From a Danish palace rebuilt after a devastating fire, to a Japanese fortress that echoes the beauty of nature, these enchanting estates hold bountiful tales to fill up volumes of storybooks. Here, the 10 most beautiful castles in the world, that will leave you full-heartedly believing in happily ever after. Number 10. Pena National Palace in Sintra, Portugal. Influenced by Middle Eastern and European Baroque styles, the Pena National Palace represents the eccentric and colorful flair of 19th-century Romanticism in Portugal. King Ferdinand II designed the castle on a hill in the Sintra Mountains to be a summer home for the Portuguese royal family. The vibrant shades decorating the facade indicate the palace's different sections, such as a red clock tower and restored convent and a yellow new palace. The palace was frequently used by the royal family, until the Revolution of 1910, when the Portuguese monarchy was overthrown. After years of disrepair, the castle was finally restored in the 20th century, and later classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Today, guests can trek up the castle's lush, hilly landscape to explore the various architecture styles that make up the Pena Palace. Number 9. Neuschwanstein Castle in Schwangau, Germany. King Ludwig II of Bavaria commissioned Neuschwanstein Castle in 1868, as an escape from the public eye and political turbulence. After Prussia conquered Austria and Bavaria during the Austro-Prussian War, Ludwig was effectively stripped of his powers but still yearned for a kingdom of his own to rule. In a letter to his longtime friend, German composer Richard Wagner, Ludwig wrote about his vision for Neuschwanstein. There will be several cozy, habitable guest rooms with a splendid view of the noble Soaring, the mountains of Tyrol, and far across the plain. You know the revered guest I would like to accommodate there. While Ludwig never got to see Neuschwanstein in its finished state, the castle of the fairy tale king opened to the public in 1886, and remains one of the most popular in all of Europe. Number 8. Castel del Monte in Andria, Italy. Much mystery surrounds the Castel del Monte and its purpose for being built. Emperor Frederick II ordered the construction of the citadel in 1240, in a rather remote area of southern Italy with no means of protection. After it was built, the decorated emperor soon abandoned the castle, leaving many questions surrounding his intentions. Revered as a masterpiece of medieval architecture, the fortress's layout consists of an octagonal base and tower at each corner and 8 trapezoidal rooms within. It's thought the geometric layout may actually have a deeper symbolic meaning with references to the Holy Grail and the relationship between humanity and God. No matter its original purpose, the octagonal castle has become one of southern Italy's most visited landmarks, and is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 7. Frederiksborg Castle in Hillerød, Denmark. Located on 3 small isles on the castle lake, the distinguished Frederiksborg Castle was built as a symbol of King Christian IV's power as ruler of Denmark and Norway. The Renaissance castle was the official royal residence for more than 100 years before its original structure was destroyed in a fire in 1859. With only the chapel and the audience chamber surviving the flames, a nationwide lottery and collection were held to raise funds to rebuild the palace. After the royal family decided that they would no longer stay at the castle, Frederiksborg reopened in 1878 as the Museum of National History. Today, the world-renowned museum illustrates the history of Denmark through its impressive collection, or portraits, historic paintings, and the interiors of the castle. Number 6. Windsor Castle in Windsor, England. The oldest and largest inhabited castle in the world, Windsor Castle has acted as an official royal residence for the United Kingdom monarchy for more than 900 years. William the Conqueror began building Windsor around 1070, as both a residence and a fortress to guard the western approach to London. The castle has seen many renovations from the countless monarchs who have lived on the property, including Queen Victoria, who added her own private chapel. In 1992, a fire ravaged the chapel along with more than 100 rooms that were damaged or destroyed. It wasn't until 5 years later that Windsor was fully restored to its original state. The property remains a favorite within the royal family, with a number of weddings being held at the ground's famous St. George's Chapel. Even Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip often escape to the quiet palace for restful weekends. Number 5. Edinburgh Castle in Edinburgh, Scotland. Standing tall on the crags of Castle Rock, Edinburgh Castle exudes a sense of authority and nobility throughout Scotland's capital. Archaeologists believe that humans have occupied the castle's site since the Iron Age, but its royal ties can only be traced back to the 12th century, when King David I built St. Margaret's Chapel in honor of his mother. Throughout the centuries, members of the monarchy reimagined the royal palace as a residence and military fortress. A notable decorative element remains above the door of the palace: the gilded initials, MAR, for Mary Queen of Scots and her second husband Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. After the union of the crowns in 1603, Edinburgh Castle was reserved as a military base. Today, guests are welcome to explore the various buildings and ancient artifacts of the Scottish monarchy, like the Stone of Destiny. Number 4. Himeji Castle in Himeji, Japan. The elegant white facade and jaw-dropping 17th-century Japanese architecture earned Himeji Castle the nickname White Heron Castle for its resemblance to a bird taking flight. Built in 1346 as a fortress against local shotguns, the complex above the inland seas comprises 83 buildings with specialized systems of defense and protection devices. However, Himeji Castle was never used in battle, but instead repurposed as a more residential castle. In 1931, the Japanese government designated the site a national treasure and a monumental example of medieval castle architecture. Guided tours are offered in both Japanese and English of Himeji and its cherry blossom garden. Number 3. Vianden Castle in Vianden, Luxembourg. Overlooking the River Our in northern Luxembourg, Vianden Castle was first built on the site of an ancient Roman watchtower, between the 11th and 14th centuries. It served as the royal residence of the Count of Vianden until the beginning of the 15th century. At the turn of the 16th century, the castle was left abandoned after a series of marriages, and political actions combined the House of Vianden and the House of Nassau. Throughout the years, many kings and 2 locals attempted to restore the fallen castle, but it wasn't until 1977, when the state finally gained ownership, that it slowly began to be pieced back together. By 1990, the Vianden Castle was restored as authentically as possible, and has since become an European treasure for people to explore. Number 2. Bran Castle in Bran, Romania. The infamous Bran Castle often finds itself surrounded by lore and mystery due to its connection to Bram Stoker's 1897 novel, Dracula. The medieval fortress was built between 1377 and 1388 atop the mountain pass between Transylvania and Wallachia. During the 15th century, Vlad the Impaler ruled over the area, and earned a reputation for his brutal torture methods. It's believed that the mysterious setting of the castle and Vlad's bloodlust inspired Stoker's notorious tale. Once Transylvania became a part of Romania, the city's government offered the castle to the reigning Queen Maria of Romania, as a memento of appreciation for her efforts in unifying the 2 areas. The castle served as a royal residence until 1993, when it was reopened as a museum. Number 1. Schwerin Castle in Schwerin, Germany. The origins of Schwerin Castle date back as far as 942, when the first traces of a fortress can be found on the palace's dreamy island. It wasn't until 1847, when the Grand Duke Friedrich Franz II commissioned Georg Adolf Demmler to renovate the dated structure, that the castle took its final form. The Grand Duke instructed Demmler to design a castle that felt modern, and yet celebrated the stunning architecture and heritage of the past. The historic palace is now one of the most celebrated castles in Germany, with 653 rooms, including a throne room outfitted with Carrara marble and gilded iron doors and an ancestral gallery. Visitors are invited to explore the castle's gardens and restaurants before its magical halls, but be careful. You may run into Schwerin's mischievous ghost, Peter, who is rumored to still reside in the castle. What do you think of our list? Which castle is the most beautiful in your mind? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.